Do you think he's the reason why stocks have increased to the degree they have over roughly the past year?
I do. I think it has to do with tax cuts, and I think it has to do with shrinking of federal government, which I do believe is positive. And yes, ultimately, that's the reason that stocks have risen as they have.
So if we don't get those tax cuts, what happens?
Oh, I think that will. I do think we will get tax cuts. I do think this is going to happen. So in the short-term years, I think the U.S. stock market is the place to be. So that isn't to say there wonon't be volatility along the way.
But if we don't get them, I guess what I'm asking you, would the markets turn south fast?
I think they would turn south really fast, but in my crystal ball, that's not going to happen. There will be tax relief.
What do you think of the role the Russians played in the election? A lot of people seem to think that they were definitely trying to get Donald Trump elected, yet even the strongest liberal at this point, sir, has said they did not affect the final vote results. Do you agree?
Well, I think I would agree with that. But hey, politics. Turn the page, and there's more revelations about Russia, and this is what we deal with. This keeps you in business, Neil.
It does. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. But let me ask you, Governor. Now there's a separate investigation going on with the Russians and their role they played with the Clintons, and more specifically, this uranium shipment that translated in millions of dollars that went to the Clinton Initiative. All of this while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Republicans say that's just as fair game and fair an investigation as anything they're looking to do with Donald Trump. Do you agree with that?
I do. If Hillary would have been elected, we would be turning the page on a daily basis with regard to these investigations. I do think that running for president myself, that I was most reflective of what Americans think, but clearly that was not reflected in the election results. I'm not the person, I'm not the messenger here. I'm not the person that's going to get elected. I don't seek elected office anymore. But
really? So you're not interested in running in 2020?
I am not. No, I had my shot. And like I say, I was not the messenger. I thought we would have done a lot better, but it does boil down to two political parties. I'm in Washington right now to petition the Supreme Court to ask the appeals court to hear our case against the Presidential Debate Commission, which I think has the opportunity to really level a playing field when it comes to politics, allowing for independents, third parties, libertarians to actually have a chance. Majority or the biggest group of voters are independents. Well, where are they being represented in all this?
Donald Trump says through him. He's the man.
Well, I disagree. The founders never envisioned political parties. Maybe they did, but there wasn't any mention of political parties. There are more choices than just Democrats and Republicans. So you'd be open, even though you're not running, you would be very much interested in a third-party candidate from whatever third party, and there could be several, being on a debate stage with the two big guys. Absolutely. It would open up the debate, and like what would the threshold in polling have to be for you, or would there be a threshold? Well, there can be all sorts of ways in which they can change, but you can't, right now it's 15% in the polls, and in 99.9% of all polls that were reported in 2016, my name was not on those polls. There were only 2 names on those polls. And that in and of itself, just if you can be, I was on the ballot in all 50 states, if you can be elected president of the United States, shouldn't your name be in the polls? That's just one of what could be dozens of ways in which the system could get tweaked to be more fair. Real quickly, as things stand right now, do you think Donald Trump will get reelected? No. I don't. But then it's all about the candidates. Who do the Democrats put up? And might we be successful in our lawsuit, and that there are other voices on the stage? You never know. You never know. But if you don't try, it's sure not going to happen. All right, Gary Johnson, 2016 Libertarian presidential nominee, former New Mexico governor. Thank you, sir. Good seeing you again. Thank you. Thank you, Neil.